So Shubhavira was saying before she led the Metta Bhavana that I'd be leading a meditation on the Upekkha Bhavana. And I'm not going to be doing that, but it's something very similar to that. I'm going to be doing it will be more like a Metta Bhavana, but it has the kind of quality of the Upekkha Bhavana. And I think what I'm trying to kind of draw out of the meditation is a kind of even-mindedness, which is a quality of metta. That quality of that you can respond to everyone as you meet them, and you're not so thrown around by preferences. This is what you have to train in when you do the Brahmaviharas. That we've got preferences, and you face them through doing the particularly between doing Mudita Bhavana and the Karana Bhavana. And sorry, I can see his things being pasted up in chat. Anyway, so we're trying to then go further than that and just be much more even-minded, even metaful to everybody that we meet. And one of the ways that we can engage with that quality is through a more of a wisdom approach. And the wisdom approach is what we've been developing on this retreat. It's very much looking at the kind of conditions that underlie our closed heart. What conditions lead us to reacting in an aversive way, or falling in love in a way that's actually not metaful at all. And we've been looking a little bit at that and the process of that, and our the conditioning factors in our life. So everybody is under the oppression of the conditioning factors, and those conditions will be different for all of us. But on a more existential level, we're all in the same situation. It doesn't matter whether, as the sutta says, whether we're one shape or another, we're in the same situation. It doesn't matter if we can see the person or not see the person, they're all in the same situation. Those that are born at the moment and those that are yet to be born, we're all in the same situation. And I was thinking earlier this morning that sometimes we're more acutely aware that we're all in the same situation as everybody else because of an external factor. So the coronavirus has been a very leveling has had a very leveling impact on us, on the world, in that it's easier to see what we share because all of us can die and get ill from the coronavirus. Of course, all of us were always going to die and get ill and get old and all of those things. So nothing's really changed, but it's been heightened by the virus and us being more surrounded by it. It's just been more heightened. So our condition, our human condition, is more apparent to those of us that are living in often very protected environments, like we often do in the West. Another great leveler is travel. I think sometimes when we're traveling, let's say on a train or on a bus or on a boat, and we're all in the same situation again. So if the train is 30 minutes late, all of us are dealing with the uncomfortableness, the inconvenience, whatever. Or if we're in an airport and, you can feel that a lot of people are quite nervous about flying. And there's a more kind of edgy sort of side to it. You're having to go through customs, you've got lots of luggage. There's a kind of uncomfortableness about the whole process. And this puts us in the same, we begin to realize we're in the same situation as everyone else. You can look around an airport and see that everyone is a bit restless and a bit frightened or a bit bored or whatever, but we're all sort of struggling with this particular environment. We're also about to go somewhere that we really want to go to, like see family. So there's anticipation in the air. Or we're returning and we're about to meet people that we want to meet. Sometimes on a train journey, yes, if there's a very big delay and you have an announcement on the train that let me think, that the train's going to be delayed by an hour and it's stationary and you can't get out, it's just stationary in the middle of the country somewhere. And maybe the engine's broken down or something like that. And then sometimes the wait is very long. And at that point, you see different people kind of rising to that situation. You know, maybe it's a group of guys who are work colleagues, and somebody gets out a pack of cards and they start playing cards together. And you can see that they've got quite a strong connection between them, although they rarely are stuck on a train together like this. Or you see mothers trying to console children and play with them and keep them occupied. So there's these different activities. Or you see people getting angry at the driver or the company or the airport because certain things aren't working the way they want it. And some people are getting more frightened or more concerned about their schedule. So all sorts of things are happening. And you get a sense sometimes when you're just sitting and watching what's going on, you get a sense of witnessing the human condition, witnessing human beings in their lives with all their different habits, personalities, everything playing out. So I'm going to lead the meditation as if we're in an airport or a train station. And we're just going to be witnessing them. We're going to be witnessing those people that we see in front of us. And we're going to have some sense of, some understanding of where they're coming from, some understanding of their conditioning, the conditioning factors within them, the external conditioning factors, and within that, we're just going to wish them well. And before we do that, I am going to read a poem by Naomi Shihab Nye, which some of you will know, called Gate A4, which is a poem about being stuck at an airport. So just settling into your meditation posture. Gate A4. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal after learning my flight had been delayed 4 hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing. Help, said the flight agent. Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be late, and she did this. I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haughtily. Shudua, Shubiduk, Habibitit, Stanti Shuwe Min Fadlik, Shubi Siwi. The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been cancelled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, "No, no, we're fine. You'll get there. Just later. Who is picking you up? Let's call him." We called her son. I spoke with I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. And she talked to him. Then we called her other sons just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic, and found out, of course, that they had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She pulled a sack of homemade mamul cuckoos, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts, from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveller from Argentina, the mum from California, the lovely woman from Laredo. We were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old country tradition, always carry a plant, always stay rooted to somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones and thought, this is the world I want to live in, the shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. So just settling into your meditation. And just having a sense of yourself, just sitting here, absorbing the poem, absorbing one another, the human condition that we all share. And maybe you can imagine yourself in an airport or a train station, and maybe there's been an announcement that there's going to be a long delay. And you're just quietly sitting somewhere and watching all the people around you doing their thing, It's the sort of thing we all do. And just having a sense of yourself, just quietly taking up your place in the human race with all your own conditioning factors, your worries, your distractions, your anger, your longing, just all of that in you right now. And know it's just part of the human condition. And just wishing yourself well, holding yourself with metta. And now, calling to mind a neutral person, maybe just allowing a stranger to come into the cafe or come into the waiting room in that station or airport. Maybe they're doing something very lovely, like holding the door open for a mother and a few children. Or maybe they're just reading their newspaper. Or maybe they're sitting quietly but anxiously looking at their watch. Whatever they're doing, just noticing them, taking them in, seeing that human being in their lives with all their conditioning factors at work. You don't know them, but you know that you and they share so much just of the human condition, and just wishing them well. Now calling to mind a friend. Maybe just seeing them from a distance in the airport, or maybe just holding them in your heart, knowing all their joys, their difficulties, their irritating habits, knowing the rejoicing and pleasure that you get from them. Just holding all of that and just witnessing them in their being with patient understanding. They too, just part of the human life, the human condition. And just love them for that. Now calling to mind a person we find difficult to be with, someone with whom the contact is unpleasant. Maybe they too are in the airport or in the train station, and you can see them quite burdened by their luggage, burdened by anxiety, just witnessing them with some patient understanding of themselves, the conditions that they carry. All of us just sharing this journey together, our lives together through this period of time. Can you contact that quality of patient understanding, seeing them from afar, just another human being? Just sending the metta. Why not? And now just expanding out, to see everyone in that airport, in that train station, in the world around us. Just having a sense of being surrounded by people in our lives, in our situations, in the waiting room at the airport. And in the words of the poets, we could think, I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in, the shared world. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. So contacting an open-heartedness that comes from greater understanding, a freer heart, maybe a quieter heart, just being present. And now, in your own way, just drawing the meditation to a close.